Here's a funny one for you. Do you often think that life talks, but it often is all talking a completely different language?
Yeah.
Same sort of outcome. Anyway, let's hold on, look at this. So, go green. Temporal, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Black hole and star. Is it? Black holes, black hole, eyeball. Would be temporal, yeah. And permanent is gas,
Mm-hmm.
and could also be iron, yeah. So could we put that as matter? We could, couldn't we?
Yeah.
And again, we sort of see a pulsating between the two, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to argue with me, and the first thing you really want to do is probably argue with that. But stars and black holes are everything of the universe. No, I don't think so. I think it's looking at the gases and the matter and everything that's made up. You know, if you were to look at to look for God, if we want to look for that, or creator, or whatever, I think it's going to be found in the hydrogen somewhere, I think, actually.
Yeah.
The most untarnished one out of all of them, and it's always in existence, right?
Yeah.
It never once goes out of existence.
Mm-hmm.
And nor does the matter. And it's funny, we could say matter, so we could say solid objects,
Yeah.
which all have the backbone from hydrogen gas, yes?
Yeah.
In, out, shake it all about. You in, out, going,
Yeah.
go. Nee, do you want it, Eni? Okay,
I do want it.
I really want that.
No, I
Yeah,
don't
you
want
just
that.
wanna play
I
with the
want the door opening.
Yeah. You want to pause that?
Mm-hmm.
So, solid objects. And all solid objects made from this, yeah?
Yeah.
Which would make you look towards stars and say, well, stars kind of made that.
Mm-hmm.
Or did they? Or is that just the cover story?
Yeah.
You see the big object, the bright objects, the stuff over there. Look over here. Don't look at this stuff. Look at the big stuff. Pay attention to this. You can't see any of that anyway, but keep looking at this. It's visible, and then even the invisible is visible, is made visible by the visible, isn't it? The invisible is made visible by the visible. That's a crazy way to look at things, isn't it? So technically, if you're watching the orbits, you're orbiting something, aren't you? Whoops, it swallowed that one. Where did it go? Again, big, massive, grandiose. Look at all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Don't pay attention to any of the other.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's a black hole finalized or whether it's a star, you know,
Yeah.
it always seems temporal because you've got a phase of gas, no stars, and you also have a phase of gas, no black holes.
Yeah.
Yet, equally, the gas, if we were looking at it in this way, whatever it is the formulation of all of these things.
Yeah.
So you've got from the gas this particular weird object. It's even the bedrock of life. Makes you, makes the planet, makes trees, makes everything possible for existence, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Fascinating, isn't it? And this all stems from what? Gas. Fascinating, isn't it? Run that for an engine. Nice. Power a rocket with it. Make a few stars, a few black holes, you know, whatever you can cook up with it. But it's always in existence. That's an interesting particular here. And then we've got temporary, permanent. And then, do you think life is going to come up to you and be like, the universe is going to be like, yo, humans, pardon me for rising you up and everything. Did you want to live here? Do you think it's just going to come and ask you that, or do you think it waits? And then is that going to go to singular or across a whole species? That's another question entirely, you know. Fascinating, because it would have took all of you to get there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
See the past and the future, depending on where there is. Assuming there is a there.
Yeah.
There definitely is something.
Yeah.
And then we could go on to make this stable zone. I'm going to make this in red.
Mm-hmm.
Now, bizarrely enough, there's a stable zone for everything. So I was having a look at, right? So I was playing around with it. So what does a stable zone look like? Because, you know, perhaps these things are all stable, right? And I was thinking stable, optimal, stable, optimal. Either or, it would have been, you know, looky, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we've got black hole plus star, yes?
Mhm.
That's in this makes it temporal, this makes it permanent.
Yeah.
Again, to stay permanent as a black hole, not possible, so therefore temporal, yes? But do you think life forms, and any, could combine and stabilize, like we were talking in a few other videos, whether it's possible or not? Who knows? The numbers would have to be pretty big. The communication skills would have to be fundamentally perfect to move stars, bring them together, to cook up other ingredients and all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. I mean, you got to have some big numbers to do that. Assuming you did, you can then leech off of a black hole and a star and create a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Yes? Bit what the ancients were going on about, right?
Yeah.
So much so they carved it into rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then you can make a stable star and black hole in this stability, yes? In a stable zone.
Yeah.
Keep going with it.
Mm-hmm.
What about gases? Gases are not stable in this. Oh, there's also one more. Ooh, let's do this. This is called environment. Interesting, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's more beyond this. How big is that? Well, again, how much could you put in and keep adding gases into? We'll give you a good. Anyway, do you want to live or die?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yeah.
And currently live and die, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Temporal, permanent death, almost, but temporal life, yes?
Yeah.
Seems kind of interesting, yeah?
Yeah.
Made up of the stuff that is permanent, but you're temporal.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. So, could then humans with this figure of 8 self-fulfilling prophecy that the Egyptians were going on about also genetically engineer cloning for humans? Therefore, you can live and die, and because that's how cloning. There are multiple types of cloning. I think the easiest ones to focus in on are just the two fundamentally ones that we look at nature to try and keep it natural and to try and keep it believable, because you know you want to have something to believe in. Pay attention to what's already going on in your planet and on your planet. If it's possible there, is it possible for you? Why, yes, you look like life, smell like life.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes, we can go this way, but I think that we've got a lot of sensors. It's sort of asking a question. And it doesn't ask it by, yo, do you want eternity? No, it gives you an opportunity, and then you all make it towards it or you don't. Pretty much it. So, again, so we've got this cloning, yes? Well, we've got gases, yeah?
Yeah.
And we've also got solids. But again, these are transitioning.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell are you? And the hydrogen is like, wow. What do you want me to be? That was a good fucking question. You know, again, so can I stabilize gases in an environment like this? So I could draw gases one side, couldn't I?
Yeah.
And I could also put solid objects from the gases, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And again, can I bring these together? And you could say, well, yes, isn't that already doing that? Yes, planets, technically, aren't they a stabilization, a temporal stability zone, yes? Habitat.
Yeah.
Temporal.
Yeah.
But you can build something that is permanent and permanently exist into it. The Earth's going to give you temporal, and that time's going to run out. Your craft, hey, it doesn't matter. Run away like global warming or build it as fast as you can. Who gives a shit? Fact is, it's all coming together, la-di-da, X, Y, Z, you know? And then you start to create this pattern starts to emerge, right? I think I was probably doing it more over here.
Do I go?
Yeah, you may turn it that way. You have to. Yeah, because a nice pattern starts to emerge, and a uniform pattern between the two
Yeah.
here, because we can. What can it be? Question mark, right? At the moment, we know it balances between two forces that keep it in a self-fulfilling prophecy overall.
Yeah.
And I don't think the universe has. It's all of this language, isn't it? This is all it is, yeah? A lot of us are affected by behavior, yeah? So the chances are we're all communicating in a weird and wonderful way.
Yeah.
To each other, and perhaps whether that's a little bit of information shared between one another, or a lot of information. Birds are fascinating to me, is how that they can all fly up in a flock, and very rarely.
Yeah.
That's very fascinating, even still. So, what about if we did temperature? What about a place that was a combinedness of hot and cold? Don't you get a tepid environment that should favour you if too hot, favour you if too cold? You can keep going with this. A place where energy runs out, which is here, because it's got to transform from one to the other. Can you make these forces operate in a way that keeps it not temporal, it takes it away from the temporal? By taking from the temporal, can you make permanence? Yes, because there is permanence from the temporal already. And therefore, if we then look at the permanence of life, so solid objects and gases back and forth, right? So a lot of gases compact together to make solid objects, yeah? Unpack the solid objects to then make gases, and a lot of gases. So a good question, but it's a trick question. If you could take all of the gases in the universe and make it into a solid object, one solid object, it wouldn't be very big to look at, would it really? But maybe it would, depending on size and everything else, but it wouldn't look that much. Wouldn't be that impressive.
Yeah.
Well, if there was a before and after contrast, what would that be? If I could convert all of that metal back into a gas. Are you impressed with the size yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just compressed into a small cube. Then there is the question, at that ratio, can I clone it? Yes? Well, I would be asking this question, and anybody else would be asking the same question, and then it's sort of, can I clone that? Turns into all of us saying it at the same time. Sort of look at each other, sort of like, yeah, could we add more to that?
Yeah.
Therefore, more bricks. Pyramid's worth, whatever it may be, and then unpack the universe from that. Everything seems to fit very nice. Anyway, so we have this permanence, and whether it's in a gas format or a solid object, there is permanence, providing you take it out of this environment. But you can't take it out of the environment in that particular way. But what you can do is protect an environment that remains neutral. And it's a part of. Can be either. And if it remains neutral, and you can keep going with this, by the way, I run quite away with this stable zone. So nature, stable zone. My money is on a stable zone. A stable zone is going to affect life in a very different way. So we've existed in an environment that is like this. So we don't know. At the moment, behavior will be split into two junctions of space, perhaps. Beautiful, big, massive. It is so beautiful, in fact, with its grandiose architecture and everything else. Wonderful. And it's steeped in illusion, yes? So you couldn't tell the difference between the two, being born between one or the other.
Yeah.
Which would be quite fascinating. You investigating through there? We'll go through there?
Only halfway.
So yeah, it's steeped in illusion. What would the behavior be? Whereas you'd never have to do this. Working is like loading a dishwasher. Whereas the past on Earth, working was more like washing up in a washing bowl as opposed to loading a dishwasher. And then their life would be even more easier because of RC. Yeah? It almost seems like the mood of the behavior of the next generation, it seems to already be transitioning towards this.
Yeah.
Stop it as much as you want, which puts up resistance, which I think resistance always causes things to smooth down in the end, and it always goes that way. Move with the flow, I think, is transformation goes. But the behavior in the future, what's it going to be like? Stripped away from all of that. Worry, the assurance, permanence, a guarantee. Very interesting. And therefore, that to me looks like a question. What do you want?
Yeah.
In that way. And the question isn't something that's answered in a lifetime. It's answered across a generation. Because at the end of the day, in order to walk a path of that, well, your skin's going to read something. And after all, this stuff seems to be able to make quite a lot of things. And it does quite a fascinating job by doing it, doesn't it? The most naturalist thing. And it's in existence for how many cycles? That would be a hard thing to answer. But again, if you want to age that, it's a bit like the Earth, isn't it? Yeah. We have this constantly rejuvenating crust, don't we, where it goes into the core and then spits back out. And it becomes very hard to know the past because of that. The universe seems to be wiping that memory pretty well, that it becomes very difficult.
Yeah.
Lots of data, perhaps. So yeah, temporal, permanent. But yet the temporal is only temporal for a season, but it is a permanent temporal. And therefore you can make a stability, which is stabilizing the temporal in the permanent. And there should be no reason as to why humans should not be able to live an incredibly long time. Actually, anything in the universe should not have this held against it. That if we understand something, so we look at iron, or perhaps in the universe where it's subject to change, it has to change. It can't remain the same. It has to change in this particular environment. It's one or the other. We're going to strip you this way or this way. It depends on whether you get lucky, and it depends on what luck looks like. You're going to be churned up and go into another star process. Or you're going to be spat out too close to a black hole, and it is going to cipher some of that off of you. And you're going to be bent in this way. And go back to this, act like this, and rally, short of hydrogen is going to follow that path. But there again, the remnants always left over cycle after cycle. Then why should life age? But we look at it, and we look at the iron and everything else. And if we were to take that out of the environment, what about if we subject it to water? Won't it rust quicker? Water and oxygen, won't it rust even faster than that? So how do we stop it from breaking down, and how do we preserve it? Well, we remove it out of the environment, yes? So what happens if we find things, if we were an archaeological dig and they discover some stuff, they're going to leave it out there in the weather? No, they're going to take it to an environment that keeps it under good, optimal condition. That is good. I love that you do it to dead things. Could you imagine doing that to the living? And off towards space, doing all of that sort of stuff? That same process, you nailed it for the stuff you find and dig out there. You ever considered building a whole space program around that? Because that is a hell of a concept. And that is a bit more striking towards this. It's bringing both of the hot and cold together. It's bringing it's just making the best of everything. For nature to do this too, in the environment, is going to be trending one way too cold, maybe too much for nature. And it's going to trend one way, another way, it's going to be too hot. But in an environment like this, you look at that, best of both, and you can stabilize that. And what happens as a result of that? Explosion is the thing that's going to happen. A big explosion of growth. And therefore that's something got triggered in nature then, just by taking nature in. We all do this with food, and just by nurturing it, look at how much you can fill your shops with. And again, if you keep on building on these concepts, there should be nothing preventing this whole existence going on for longer than it is. But I think we got to punch the code in. That's a fascinating thing. And sure, it might not be us right now, but it can bring you back. Made you once. And that's why memory is important. Could you imagine holding all of this in your head the whole way through the journey of the universe for a whole bloodline? Could you imagine that? Holding on this information, keep going, nowhere to write it down, but just to store it in your memory. That would be an interesting thing, wouldn't it? It's easier nowadays, hey, with technology and everything else.
Yeah.
It does a lot of remembering for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Ancients passing down tales all the way down and trying to get it to the end as best as possible to preserve it. Wow, what a journey, hey?
Yeah.
All right, time to go.